We are moving forward to have a quick and powerful fireside chit chat on breaking down the gender barriers in media and entertainment industry and how crucial is it to create a more diverse and inclusive industry. And to give us a quick sneak peek on this, we have Mr. Ajay Dang, who is the President, Head of Marketing, Ultratech Cement, and Ms. Nupur Saxena, Head Sales for Youth, Music, English, and Kids Entertainment from Viacom 18. So they both are here to have this sneak peek on this wonderful topic that we have. Can we have a huge round of applause for both the distinguished guests on stage?
Thanks so much. I think it's that part of the evening, and we're happy to discuss something very, very serious and substantive. And I'm glad it was there to discuss. There used to be a time where diversity and equality and inclusion, those used to be stuff which would be part of a corporate's empathy statements. But today, you judge corporates, you judge companies by their values. Uh, it influences how brands and customers see them. And of course, it has huge input in terms of how overall the employment market seeks at them. And while there's been, I think, substantial barriers which have been removed from overall period of time towards gender equality, things are far from perfect even now. And what we'd like to do is focus on an industry which has a very substantial participation of women within that. And I'd love to introduce Nupur. Nupur had I saw Nupur's illustrious career across, I think, 20 odd years. It's a long list, so just bear. And like I was, I think there are some substantial achievements which, of course, she will talk about through her experiences, how within the media and entertainment industry, how she's passed through and the experience that she's had. She joined Viacom 18 in 2008, and she currently heads sales for youth, music, English, and kids entertainment for Viacom 18. She leveraged some fabulous IPs over the period of time. From the Nickelodeon franchise, she started with growing to be the head of the kids revenue nationally. Then she took on youth, music, English cluster, all of that together. She's, I think, helmed some of the very famous youth content pieces like Roadies, Splitsvilla, Supermodel, and so on and so forth. She's had over 20 years of experience in integrated media sales and partnerships across multiple genre and platforms. She's had stints with leading media houses like Sahara, Hindustan Times, Radio City, and Midday. Prior to entering media, you were in FMCG and EduTech, and she's a lifelong learner. So would be good to hear her views on that. So Nupur, welcome for this slightly serious discussion. Tell me, while there are substantial number of women in the media and entertainment space, what has been the evolution of getting gender equality within the media and entertainment space?
Hi everybody, am I audible? Yes, I am. So thank you, Ajay. Thank you, Adgari. Thank you, Vijaya. Thank you, Viacom, for having me here actually. Before I answer Ajay's question on any other day, honestly, I would just cringe the way everything was described about me. That is a woman, possibly a mindset that I have. Also, I agree with Rubina before I forget. While we've been in the same media industry, we haven't met formally and spoken ever. But she said women don't ask, right? That's where it needs to begin. That's where is breaking the barriers. Coming back to Ajay's question, on a serious note, so 20 years is what I have been here, and if I were to just give you an example, when I started with Midday, and decision makers, one woman over there, right? 20 years later, I'm talking right now decision making for now, while media and entertainment as an industry were doing extremely well compared to the FMCG, infrastructure and other industries. However, now, so in the decision making room, I do see, I see three women and other men, seven men, say for example. So it just kind of speaks volumes how we are moving. Um, with the provision of internet and digital going big, things are moving faster, much faster. So something which would have taken possibly 10 years to move from 1 to that 2 number, I guess it's time to get to a 50-50 ratio possibly. Why do I say just 50-50 number? It could be 60-30, 60-40, 70-30, anything. But if you look at the global population, male to female ratio, as I see 2022 numbers on the internet, it's about 50-50, shy of a few decimals here and there. So why not in the decision-making rooms? Why not in our own industry? Let's lead the change.
So, Nupur, I think I'll just go a little unconventional on the topic. I think oftentimes at forums like this, I think we get a lot of shoulds kind of stuff. However, if one were to think practically about it, of the experiences that you've had, talk about issues, instances, people, systems which have genuinely transported women, one, included women into the system, and gotten them onto the stage per se, and second, gotten their voice into the decision-making sphere far more.
Okay, so the question is to the hiring managers over here, first of all. How many times have you thought twice about hiring a woman employee? How many times have you maybe given your own personal bias or the way you got off the bed on the right or the wrong side, and then took your own decision that day? Maybe I'll just give you my own example. A couple of years back, now I speak my mind differently. And guys, before I say anything else, this is a point that I'm making on myself, my personal anecdotes and information that I'm sharing. Also, I'm a human being. I'm allowed to make mistakes. I'm allowed to change my mind, right? So if you have done that, so when I was hiring earlier, I'm a single mother, if you don't know. I have a 23-year-old son. I've raised him by myself since he was 5. So yeah, the struggles were, I would say, 2 years, last 2 years, if I would just leave that, the COVID years, I used to find, oh my God, this guy didn't help me, he didn't do. I did not think how the universe or my colleagues or the people around me actually helped me push my thought process and change my mind. When I was possibly a 35-year-old and I was hiring, and there was a girl sitting over there, I would be like, oh my God, maybe marriageable age, yeah, what next? So this is just a sneak peek on what I have in my mind, but cut to now. I do the interviews myself, male or female. I'm not talking gender completely. It's not fair. We're talking gender equality, right? So we also have to educate and change the unconscious bias of the minds of the young other gender. So I sit with them, I do the interviews, and I ask them, have you asked these questions? Are you clear about your remuneration? Did you understand what you're going to get in hand? Did you ask about the role? Did you ask? Like Rubina said, did you ask? Be shy to ask. That is where it needs to change and kind of go there. So take a step forward. Your personal biases, 1% change for each of you, and we'll make the world a whole lot better place, right?
I'm just trying to think the problem differently, right? We all know we should exercise, right? Yet lots of us don't follow up, right? We all believe something should be done, yet barriers come into play. And I think when science and and thinkers have thought about the problem slightly differently, I think they've met with a far greater success. So, if we were to break down the system of what is been in the past, and let's say what people or organizations or the C-suite is missing by not having the female talent, uh, how would you posture it, position it to companies, to hiring managers, as to if there is a large talent pool that they're missing out, what's the context of that talent pool so that it becomes a pull rather than it becomes a mandate to these organizations to hire women managers?
Right. Mandates will work only, ticking the check boxes, right? We'll just do because we have to do. Uh, First things first, while yes, I did talk about unconscious bias, but first things first, nip it in the bud. There's something called gender shaming, right? At home, in your own society. How many of you are a part of the ladies group where you just ask for your house helps and all, right? Or there is a society group where only male members are there. Just a very small, simple example I'm saying. So nip it in the bud first thing. And then come to the unconscious bias which I'm talking about. Telling your male child to do this or not. Guys, it's not easy. It has to come within us. Only then we'll kind of make the changes. Long time back, again, as you evolve, as you grow from your 30s to your 40s to your 50s, your thought process changes. When I was about in between 30, 35, I'd gone for a meeting to Nestle, and there was the media manager over there, Ritu Gupta, and I met for the first time. I just kind of connected with her. I don't know how, and she was one of the very elusive women. She would not meet anybody, right? And I was with Nickelodeon at that time, and I'm still with Nickelodeon. And she's like, Nupur, have you read Lean In by Sheryl Sandberg? And yes, I mean, obviously I had not read about it. She sent me that book, and I read that. And I was like, it's not easy, man. Women supporting women and then expecting the man to support or any other gender to support. Man, you're finding your own struggles, right? But as I moved along and I realized putting labels, kind of, like I said, gender shaming and stuff like these, it moves beyond. You have to be in your element. Find your true self. Um, just don't be the paper tiger. Get your hands dirty a little bit. As simple as maybe just talking to your house help and asking what's happening. Or if you spot her crying, basic things I'm saying. So we go for weddings, we go for meets, we go within our own work, we travel. See how much can you make a difference. I mean, you're young, empty in office, or a girl sitting next to you, or a young boy sitting next to you. Do you pick up a conversation? Do you talk there? And tell them about this unconscious bias. Now, this unconscious bias actually has been playing in my mind a lot. I kind of looked up the LinkedIn influencer. This is a LinkedIn influencer called Stacey Gordon. And she talks very heavily about it. She kind of breaks it up into affinity bias and how, why would I'm interviewing Srimai for some reason. And I realize, oh, she stays in Powai also. I'm like, oh, that kind of just fits in so well. Did I look at the other people? Did I have that bias? I'm saying start the change within from yourself. I guess that's what is there. And otherwise, organizations can give us mandates. They can tell us so much percentage has to be there. You have to look at so many females. Uh, as an organization at Viacom 18, I'm very proud to say we encourage this a lot. Mentorship, sponsorship programs run a large. We have Wave, a program that we created for women who go on maternity leaves. They have a 9-month leave, which they are allowed to take. And of course, there's a bit of flexibility over there as well. We also give paternity leave to the men, and they have to mandatorily take it. Sometimes you have to push them to take it. But yeah, these are the kind of changes I would think Ajay will make a change.
So let's come back to, we are talking about formal organizations, commercial organizations, and we stay within the context of a society, right? You talked a lot about the unconscious biases that people have. How do you transition or how do you transform these organizations without the necessary change, or make sure that the change in organizations is far more accelerated than that's happening out there in the society at large.
Okay, who are we addressing this to, right? Apart from the fact that we're talking about organization, commercial spaces, who are we talking? There's the boomers, there's the millennials, there's the Gen Z, there's the Gen Alpha now. Right now, I think we're dealing with the boomers and a bit of a millennials. The Gen Z, Gen Alpha, they've got their game straight. They honestly, the barriers are broken for them already. They don't understand, they don't have a barrier. Broken, forget broken. Sorry, undo. The barriers, they don't have any barriers. You talk to the youth of today or the 15 somethings or 19 somethings, they are living their life very happily. They don't care about same sex marriages, interracial, color, gender. They're having a ball of a time. I'm saying, are you friends with them? Cut to coming to the organization part, right? The position, the decision makers, the holders over there, the C-suite, change your mindset. Think differently, like Ajay is saying. You know, we need to think differently. Not just doing the check boxes. You have to move beyond your space. Like, again, I give a lot of examples because there have been so many inspiring leaders in my life. Subhashji, in one of his forums, he mentioned, I hire somebody who makes me uncomfortable. Not because I like the person. I'm saying, think differently when you're sitting on that chair. And give this message to your team members when you're grooming them beyond your regular hirings that you do and stuff. Am I making sense?
Yeah.
Yeah?
So one piece from a media entertainment perspective, so versus many other industries, I think media entertainment at least gets in a lot more pull in. It's a special case of you get a lot more women in, but when you touch the C-suite or when you graduate up the organization, I think it thins as much and possibly even more drastically than elsewhere. What's hurting? Because this industry at its very core has great need for the talent, the input, the creativity, the different point of view, the perspective of women, and yet it serves a lot of, I think, women as customers and audience and so on and so forth. Yet when you take the pool, which is a large enough pool, much to the envy of some of the other sectors, if you may, but it thins equally or even more sharply as you move up the C-suite. What happens there?
I guess we don't ask. Women don't ask. Trust me, you prioritize your lives. Um, you would have heard this very famous thing which went viral. I don't want to take names and make it a little controversial, but I want to wear my crown when I want to wear. Women need to think like that. You are a daughter, you are a wife, you're a daughter-in-law, and all the roles that you have. It's fine. You're not a martyr. It's fine. You don't have to get the milk in the house that day just because your husband was tired and your house help was busy. It's fine. I want to be what I want to be. The day women start thinking like that and reprioritize themselves to start realize that, hey, this is where I want to be. This is what I think. And it's fine to think like that, is when the talent pool will open up. We look for that fire, we look for that commitment. Even a spark of that energy, we make sure that we want to hire this person. So I think prioritizing their lives, how they want to run their lives, is very, very important, Ajay. And that's something which will come from within or the way we manifest our own lives. We live on social media, our algorithms come up, the way we watch the content, right? I'm saying make your real life algorithm. Make your real life timeline. Think what you want to do. Like they say again, you are what sum of 5 people around you. That's what the theory goes around, right? Look to them. They may not be in your inner circle. Look to them. Think, ask, speak, express yourself. Then that is when the mind will open And it'll be much more easier for us to make the decision about hiring and take women up. I mean, again, coming from Viacom 18, we've got Jyoti Deshpande, who's the group CEO. We've got Neena Jaipuria. We've got Chanpreet. We've got Sapangeet. We've got Chitra. In our regional cluster, we've got Manisha. I mean, we've got all women leaders. We've come up with our own struggles, but then hey, we made it, right? And we're doing good. We're doing good. I wish everybody would do as good as Viacom 18 and media and entertainment industry.
Just to challenge, and and maybe this is my personal bias, just talking of biases. I've been a marketer all my life, or at least most of my life, working life. Uh, I don't understand this concept of equality, right? To be different is good, right? Uh, Therefore, rather than struggle for equality, is that a better strategy? Is it a better go? Is it a better success strategy to go in to say, here are things that you supremely excel at, and therefore, I think we deserve our place in the sun, rather than say, here is the playing field set up by men. It's a, if you are a hockey player and if you are going and playing in a cricket field, yeah, you're not going to kind of, if the playing field is, and the rules are set up against you, not going to work for you. Is there a possibility of, like I said, thinking this problem completely differently?
So I think the playing field or the universe has been set up by men and women equally, right? While we may blame our mother-in-laws and the vamps in our lives, they are the ones who are possibly at some point of time would have started by protecting us. रात को मत जाना, ऐसे कपड़े मत पहना, अरे उसके सामने सिगरेट मत पीना, शराब मत पीना, right? Office में ऐसे मत बात करना. So anyways, that's another perspective, a bigger debate that we have. Is it the first bell? I speak a lot when I get to, so I'll try. Yeah. So within your own ecosystem, the way you do is, yes, I agree. The sponsorship programs, the mentorship programs will help a lot in identifying what do you excel at. However, I can only take you till there. I can push you till there. We can push you till there. But it has to come from within to us, Ajay. That's the biggest barrier that anybody faces, is what I see. From school until now, I was possibly in school like a first bencher, college became a backbencher. But I never did stop asking, and most of the people, there's nothing right or wrong. Till the time we don't inculcate that. And you can make N number of sponsorship programs, you can send them to INSEAD, you can send them to Wharton, you can send them to Harvard, wherever. It has to come from within to us. And that's the only piece which will really make a change. Sponsorship and mentorship programs, of course, that's something we all must do alike, not just women, it's for everybody to be there.
Thanks, Nupur. I think some very, very interesting points you made. Any questions that audience might have, happy to take.
I must say, the previous session was very, very insightful. I loved how Anisha spoke. I loved how she was outspoken. I mean, everybody else, of course, but I guess we were trying to figure out why is she telling us to stay quiet and why is she pushing the creator economy. I'm saying she did a fabulous job of even getting your attention. Whatever you do, focus in what you do. And if you don't ask me questions, I'll continue talking, right? Anyways, so my point is stay focused in what you do. It's fine, manifest the universe. These may be very cliched lines, but guys, this works. Create your own timeline, make your own algorithms. I think I'll shut now. There are no questions. Thank you so much. Thank you, Ajay. Thank you so much.
No, just to add, Nupur, if I were to go by, I think some of the rock stars that I've had in my team, some of the mentors that I've had, some of the women who've been mentors, colleagues who've been superstars, some of the teammates who've really excelled. I think one of the things that I've, over a period of time, tuned to is that, one, like you said, we've been conditioned, or they've been conditioned not to, if you may, ask for it, settle about it. But the other piece that we've seen is that I've always said that if I've not had these people in my teams, or if I had not had those people, I think we'd be depriving our ecosystems or our working atmospheres of a very unique perspective, which one for one is not replaceable. Uh, yeah, something to think about.
Sure, right. I must add one more thing, which I absolutely possibly missed. I keep saying prioritizing and everything. I think we also need to learn to take the critical feedback. I remember Nina in my initial days of my career, Nina Jaipuria. She actually, when she does her appraisal, she takes one full hour and then she speaks. Nobody else speaks there. But she gives you critical feedback. I emulated that a lot, and I sit with a lot of all my DRs, and I do these critical feedback sessions. Um, I do find people coming out crying. Yes, you're allowed to cry, but take the critical feedback. That that itself will also make a lot of change, and will get us right there with the decision makers, getting better in the talent pool, and being a part of Ajay's team. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you so much, both of you, and thanks for your sharing your wonderful thoughts. It was a lovely conversation, and it was really good to hear you here. Thank you so much, both of you. Can we have a huge, huge round of applause for both of them?